June 18, 2018, Deerfield, Florida. Police would report to Riva Motorsport regarding a robbery and homicide that just had taken place.
Just occurred, 3671 North 60. At Riva Motorsport, several gunshots, possibly drive-by. No description on the subject.
When police arrived at the crime scene, they had no clue that they would make a discovery that would afflict the lives of millions of people worldwide. 20-year-old Jahseh Onfroy, also known as XXXTentacion, would be found laying in his vehicle with multiple gunshot wounds in what seemed to be an apparent robbery gone wrong. He was pronounced deceased on the scene.
Depression and obsession don't mix.
I appreciate and love all of you, and I believe in you all. Do not let your depression make you.
Hey man, we had to take a day today, man.
Describe me and John's relationship in one word. Misunderstood.
Bro, I was like, Mom, like, it's demons in my house right now. I was like, there's a fucking energy in my house. It's too much. I was like, this just tried to jump off the balcony.
That was my nigga at one point, and I still fucking love him. So you can suck a...
If your loved one suffers from chronic depression, understand that you are not alone. On the morning of June 18, 2018, Jahseh Onfroy would decide to turn himself in for a slew of criminal charges held against him. To provide a bit of context, in 2015, Jaseh was charged with home invasion, armed robbery, and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon after entering the home of Shay Thomas with a firearm. In 2016, he would be charged with domestic abuse after assaulting his ex-girlfriend, as she had to undergo surgery for a facial fracture. A GoFundMe was initially created to help pay for the surgery, but was eventually flagged and taken down due to fans reporting it as a scam, when, in actuality, it wasn't. During newly released phone calls from Metro West Detention Center, Jaseh was currently incarcerated when he decided to contact both victims and persuade them to drop the charges.
Hey, listen, wait, before you
be careful. Hey.
I know.
Be careful, yes.
Yeah, trust me, I know. I need you to listen to me closely, okay? There's a way for me to get out of all of this mess, bro. If we get him to drop the charges, bro, then we're Gucci. So listen, offer him $10,000, bro.
I signed it, I gave it to the lady.
They gave you your cash, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit you up as soon as I get out. As long as you don't go to court, we straight.
Not only was he additionally charged with witness tampering, but also admits to committing both crimes during these phone calls.
Hello?
This is Geneva.
Hey, he told me the phone had hung up earlier. I don't even know which words to put out, Geneva. I don't, regardless of what. Like I said, I don't give a fuck what nobody say or what nobody see or what nobody. In the end of the day, bro, I know where you stand. I know where I stand. I know what I did. I know what you did, bro. In the end of the day, bro, what matters is what we both understand, bro. I really don't give a fuck about nobody else's opinion, bro.
So where the fuck do you think I stand?
Bro, deep down in the bottom of my heart, bro. And don't hang up on me when I say this, bro. I love you as fucked up as it is, bro. I love you. I just don't.
I said, where do I stand? I didn't ask you where you stood, because I know where you're standing right now.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
The following recording was also obtained from police records, where Jaseh can be heard attempting to conduct a ritual.
Yeah. All right, tell it to me. And what did Sid say? Did she say anything?
She told me not to say the last part because she said that she doesn't want anything to happen to me, and you feel like it's just something that shouldn't be said about me or whatever.
All right, so how am I gonna know the last part?
She said so.
Oh, you gonna spell it out?
No, it's something she said.
Huh?
So I guess that was something she had to say. She told me not to say the last part.
Within a few months, Jaseh was eventually released on house arrest, where he then awaited trial.
Howdy there. I still feel like I'm dreaming. I feel like I just broke up out this. Yeah. Don't go to jail in Broward County. Don't go to jail in Broward County. They not finna let you out.
On June 18, 2018, Jaseh no longer wanted to wait and decided that he wanted to turn himself in. Before doing so, Jaseh would tell his mother that he wanted to buy a motorcycle and was quite adamant that he did not want her to go with him.
Then he just got up casually and was like, I want to go buy a bike. That didn't make sense to me, but I realized that he was anxious about what was coming. So I said, well, let me get security together for you. And he was like, no, they're going to take too long. So I said, well, you need somebody to drive your car back in the event that you do get the bike. So I made a phone call. I called my younger son's uncle and I asked him. He said he would. Ja left the house, went to the bank, and he did say he wanted to get a large sum of money. And I told him, you can't get that kind of money from the bank. You're going to have to order that. He called me and said, Mom, you're right. I wasn't able to get that much, but I got this. And I said, you sure you don't want me to go with you? Because I just wanted to like spend the time with him. And he was like, no, I need you to stay. And he said, I love you. And that was our last conversation.
Do you take any meaning from that conversation?
No, at the time, no.
Jaseh would then head to Bank of America in an attempt to withdraw $250,000 in cash. Since Jaseh requested a large amount of money without any notice in advance, the bank was only able to issue $50,000, which was then placed inside of a brown Louis Vuitton handbag. After withdrawing this money, Jaseh would then head to Riva Motorsports with his uncle in order to purchase a motorcycle. This is when 4 unknown assailants began to stalk Jaseh and follow him to the dealership. Once both parties arrived, 2 of the 4 assailants would enter the store in order to confirm Jaseh's identity. The 2 suspects were later identified as Dedrick Williams and Robert Allen. It's important to note that Dedrick Williams may have known the victim due to being a local tattoo artist in the area. After confirming Jaseh's identity, Dedrick Williams would purchase a mask before exiting the store and re-entering his vehicle, which had been parked across the street from the property. Jaseh would soon exit the dealership with his uncle and return to his vehicle as they began to make their exit on Northeast 37th Street. Video surveillance would capture the Dodge Journey approaching and blocking the victim from exiting. 2 assailants can be seen exiting the vehicle, drawing their firearms in an attempt to rob the victim. One wielding a .22 caliber rifle and the other with a .38 Smith & Wesson revolver. The 2 suspects were later identified as Micheal Boatwright and Trayvon Newsome, while Dedrick was the getaway driver and Robert Allen sat in the back passenger seat, watching it all happen. It's worth noting that Jaseh's vehicle has a built-in safety mechanism that does not allow the vehicle to accelerate if either doors are open, thus leaving him unable to drive away. After a tussle for Jaseh's chain, Trayvon Newsome is seen going around the passenger side of the vehicle in order to take the Louis Vuitton handbag containing the money. That is when Jaseh attempted to grab the firearm from Micheal Boatwright, to which Micheal would fire 4 shots from his rifle, almost hitting Trayvon Newsome in the process. After Trayvon Newsome is able to obtain the bag of money, the 2 are seen getting back into their vehicle and driving off hastily. When police arrived on the scene, EMS determined that he had passed almost immediately, as a witness is seen recording the aftermath. An investigation would shortly commence which revealed the group had crashed and ditched their vehicle shortly after the homicide. Not only that, but they were also identified through various surveillance footage and social media posts. Each suspect was apprehended and charged with the involvement of Jaseh's murder. What makes the case of Micheal Boatwright, Trayvon Newsome, Robert Allen, and Dedrick Williams much more perplexing, however, is the absence of elaboration on certain witnesses and evidence, as a phone call between Trayvon Newsome and Jahseh Onfroy occurred days prior. This, along with the preparation for the robbery, leaves many to speculate that this was no mere coincidence. Not only that, but a statement made by the victim would launch an entirely separate investigation.
Alright, me and bro to have a personal conversation. And I mean Drake. If we had a personal conversation, he could have seen where I was coming from. Whether he wanted to be an actor and deny the shit or not, you know what I'm saying? I would have been like, look, if you gonna do that, make up for it somehow. Even if it's like, yo, go check out Lil Bro. Go check out Lil Bro, you feel me? Go look at his music. Boom. Then I would have shut up. But otherwise, it's like you tried to sacrifice me, bro. You tried to sacrifice me. You could put that. You could put that as the caption if you want.
If he held his tongue on that live, he'd be alive again. Damn.
The court requested Aubrey to come in for a deposition, but it's still uncertain if this ever occurred. We are given the approval of 8MC to analyze the suspect's interrogation. However, the interrogation of Trayvon Newsome is being purposely withheld from the public for legal reasons. At this point of the investigation, all 4 suspects has been detained and taken into police custody. Since police already reviewed surveillance footage from the dealership, they will use this information in order to gauge a truthful or deceptive response. Since Robert agreed to testify against the others, we will be using his confession along with his witness testimony in order to establish a base timeline. It's also important to note that Robert is accompanied by his attorney, who understands the severity of this situation, as he provides little to no redirection, being sure not to impede or obstruct any form of remorse from his client.
Well, I'm glad you sit aside of him because I definitely need a table.
Get another chair?
Yeah, we'll get another chair. Can you move this over there? God dang, that's heavy. What do you got? Your wallet in there?
No, not at all, man.
All right, you remember me, Big Rob? Huh?
Yeah.
All right. I get you.
Want this close?
No, yeah, you can close it. I usually. All right, this is Tim Bronson. He works for the state attorney's office as an investigator. He's not an attorney, but he just wants to sit in case I forget to ask you anything. You understand why we're here talking to your attorney and you know how this is going to proceed. I got to kind of swear you in, though. Can you swear everything you're about to tell me is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Don't have to call me sir, sir.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
All right, let's go back to the basics of this whole thing. We're going to talk about people that you maybe know by nicknames, not their real names. So your co-defendants, start off, what names do you know them by? What's the first guy's name?
Let me just to memorialize so that he's comfortable.
Okay, go ahead.
You know, we have spoken with Mr. Lowe, the state attorney's office.
Right.
And we have an agreement that he's going to absolutely tell the truth here today.
Right.
But if for whatever reason we don't work out something in terms of that where he goes to trial, in other words, if he goes to trial for whatever reason we don't work out an agreement, that this statement will not be used against him in that trial, either in the state's case in chief, or even if he took the stand, it not be used to impeach him. So we have that understanding with Mr. Lowe, the state attorney's office with that. You understand that, right?
And that's the way it's been explained to me as well. Okay. But again, you know, I always tell people, if we ask you a question and you don't tell the truth about a little thing, it's kind of hard to believe you when we ask you questions about the big things. So,
if I could just interject one other thing. If for some reason you want us to step out and you want to ask your attorney something, by all means tell us so we can do that.
Yeah. Okay. The only problem with that is, because you shut the door, I don't have my keys. We'll have to get somebody to unlock the door, so we're all kind of stuck in here until somebody unlocks the door. All right, let's go back to your co-defendants. What names do you know them by?
Chucky.
Okay, slow down. We'll do it one at a time. Chucky. You have any idea what his real name is?
Dedrick.
Okay. Who's that?
Chucky.
You squinting? You got good eyesight?
Can we open it? I mean, I just warm in here. Can we open the door a little bit?
It's locked now. I'd have to get somebody to come back in through.
Can we do that?
Yeah, somebody with a key. Come back and. Okay, no, they're coming. They can hear me.
Sure, as soon as you told me you didn't have a key, then my claustrophobia set in.
Okay, well, they'll come. Right. That's why I leave it open normally, but there are other interviews. Okay, so that's. Can I continue?
Yeah, go ahead.
That's the guy you know is Chucky. How long you known him?
Quite a few years.
What do they call you, Dedrick?
They call me D.
What else they call you?
That's pretty much it.
Come on, you know when you talk to a guy like me, I know the answers to some of the questions I ask. Chucky.
Yeah, they call me Chuck.
Okay, Chuck. Also, you did some of your tattoos, didn't he?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the other one name or nickname you know?
Boatwright.
All right, Boatwright. Who's that?
Boatwright.
How long you known Boatwright?
Close to 2 years.
You can either talk to me or not talk to me. All right? It's up to you. All right? Is that all right? But again, I just wanted to know how high you were tonight, and you're saying you're not high. So that's the only reason. Obviously, I made you mad by talking about that. All right? Have any questions before I bring the other man in here? That would mean you have no other questions before I bring the man here? Is there a forensic guy to do your fingerprints and all that stuff? No? You gotta at least say no, you don't have any other questions. Alright, let me go get him in here. Alright, the easiest way to start talking about the case you're under arrest for, which is XXX's case, let's talk about the car, the Dodge Journey. Tell me the story about how you guys got, or how you got the Dodge Journey first off.
Okay, I have license.
Robert begins to explain that Dedrick Williams had rented the vehicle and instructed him to pick it up. Once the vehicle was acquired, the group would rendezvous at Dedrick's residence. When asked what made the group decide to drive to Riva Motorsports, Robert states that Dedrick wanted to buy a mask. But this statement was later retracted as Robert claims during his testimony that the group were initially looking for people to rob.
Okay, so was Dedrick's idea to rent the vehicle? Why? Rob who?
Why do y'all leave Chucky's house?
Because Chucky said he wanted to get a mask.
Okay, a mask for what?
I assumed it was the dirt bike thing, but...
Okay, anything else about any other motorcycle parts other than the mask he wanted to pick up?
No, he said he was from the ride. He was going to go ride that weekend.
All right, now I asked you this the day me and you met. You don't ride the dirt bikes, do you? Or do you know anything about the dirt bike he has? You know if it was functional or was broken?
I think he had one that was, he had just got it fixed or something like that.
Okay. All right. So when
he got a couple.
When you load up out of his house from Pompano to go, who's driving the Journey?
Chucky.
Okay, where are you sitting?
Right behind him.
Right behind him. And who's in the front passenger seat?
That's Boatwright or Trayvon. I don't remember which one.
Okay, but they're both on the passenger side. You don't remember which one, but you're right behind the driver's seat.
Right.
Okay, you get over to Riva Motorsports. Tell me what happens.
We coming up, I don't know, the side street.
Okay.
What's that street?
I don't know it either. I know what you want to talk about.
The main street.
The main street is Dixie Highway.
Yeah, we coming up Dixie Highway, and I think he said, Chucky said that was the man, XXX.
Okay, so you guys saw him before he even pulled into the lot?
Chucky's the only one, so we didn't see him.
Okay, so he saw, but what I'm saying is he said that to you before you guys even had parked.
Right.
Okay, you remember when he said that, what kind of car it was in XXX?
No, he was walking. XXX was walking.
Okay, so he was walking into the store?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, was yes?
Yes.
As Robert begins to delve further into the vehicle, we observe Dedrick prolonging any admission of being at Riva Motorsports, unaware that his co-defendant has willingly agreed to testify against him.
So this Monday, today's Wednesday, Monday between, say, 3 in the afternoon and 4 in the afternoon, you remember where you were?
3 in the afternoon and 4 in the afternoon.
Right. Or say 2 in the afternoon. Where were you at in the afternoon, say after lunchtime on Monday? Tell me where you were your whole day.
Mostly I was at my house because I was babysitting my 2 stepdaughters.
Okay, so...
Yeah, I was waiting on my wife to get off work at 7:30.
Okay. So if noon, I don't know what time you eat lunch, but noon is like lunchtime. You didn't leave from the house from noon to 7 at night, or did you go anywhere in between there?
No, I went somewhere that night.
Okay, not night, but it gets dark about 7, 8 o'clock at night. Yeah. Let's talk about from noon, which is lunchtime, till it got dark. So 7 or 8 o'clock at night. Did you leave the house at all between those hours, during the daylight hours?
I mean, you're saying Monday, I can't really,
It's only 2 days ago.
Alright.
Yeah. See, let me. Did you get along good with your dad?
Nah.
He didn't give you that fatherly advice kind of stuff?
He wasn't really there. He tried to be there later on in life.
Okay, well, how old do you think your dad is?
He's probably
40s, or like me, I'm in my 50s.
He's probably 38.
Oh, damn, he's young. All right, well, I'm gonna try to give you some fatherly advice here. You can take it or not take it. What we're going to talk about is serious, so little stuff that I ask you, don't get caught up with not telling the truth on little stuff, because when we get to the part where we're talking about not little stuff but big stuff, the only way I can believe you is if you tell me the truth on the little stuff. So let's deal with the little stuff. Between noon and 7, did you go anywhere that you remember? Did you leave the house?
On Monday?
Yes, Monday. And again, I know you're scared to death, and I know your mind's racing.
I'm really trying to think.
I know, but again, you gotta understand in life, sometimes telling the truth is always the best.
Right. You said from 3 to 4 Monday? Well,
let's start from noon till the sun went down.
Noon considered like 11 o'clock.
Yeah, I mean, again, noon to the sun goes down. Did you go anywhere?
I was babysitting on Monday.
All right, come on. I got that. You need to understand, like I said, a lot of these questions I know the answers to because at least I just don't pick out people out of the world.
I got a lot going on every day. So
okay, well.
Monday.
All right.
The detective notices this apprehension and gives a subtle intimation towards what he is referencing to. Only then does Dedrick admit to being at the dealership. This hesitation may indicate a lack of remorse since the homicide occurred 2 days prior to this interview.
Did you hear anything that was really crazy that happened this Monday?
Well, not Monday, but the crazy this week.
What would you hear about?
A shooting.
Okay. And where did the shooting happen?
Riva.
All right. Do you ever go off to Riva?
I go to Riva all the time. I ride bikes.
I know. You told me you wrecked
knocked out my teeth.
Yeah. When was that? When did you do that?
Probably like a year ago.
Right.
Okay, so you're saying when I went to Riva?
Yeah. Well, are you saying you went to Riva?
Because I don't remember what day it was.
Okay. So what day? When was the last time you were at Riva? Or when did you think? How many days ago were you at Riva?
Riva closed on Sunday, so that probably was Monday.
All right. So Monday you go up to Riva. And how'd you get up to Riva? Walk, bike, car?
Fat Boy came and picked me up.
Who's Fat Boy?
Somebody I ride with, like.
Okay. Now, before you guys actually park at Riva Motorsports, who had guns in the car, or start to tell me about that. Tell me who had guns.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, all three of them had guns.
Okay, well, let's start. And again, this is the part where you got to be 100% truthful. How do you, when you say I think, which ones do you definitely know had guns?
Trey and Boatwright.
Okay, what did Trey have?
Trey had a handgun, two type of handgun.
Could you tell it was a revolver or an automatic?
I think a revolver.
Okay, that's got the round thing like the cowboy gun. When was the first time you saw that gun? When
it was finna take effect.
When the robbery was about to happen? Did you know he had it when he got into the car at your house?
I don't even think they had nothing. I think it was at Chuck's house.
Well, if you think, why do you think that?
Because I probably would have seen it, but I didn't see it. I didn't see nothing.
But when they were at your house, before you left to go to Chucky's, did you see him with any guns?
No, they could have had it then, I don't know.
Well, the one gun we're going to talk about with Boatwright's pretty big, so you would have seen it.
Yeah.
All right.
This segment of the interrogation is partially distorted as Robert excludes his own participation. Both Trayvon Newsome and Dedrick Williams were armed with revolvers. Micheal Boatwright was armed with the GSG-16 22 caliber rifle, and Robert was armed with the Springfield XD-40. He later confirms during his testimony that he was indeed armed as well.
All right, so just so I get this straight, Fat Boy comes up, he's with his girlfriend whose name you don't remember. Does the boy who's cutting the lawn, does he go with you to Riva?
No, because my kids were there. I told him no.
Watch the kids?
If he don't watch the kids before, I tell him I'll be right back.
What's the lawn boy's name? What do you call him?
Rod. His real name. I know his real name. His real name is Sherrod.
Sherrod what?
Yeah. I don't know his last name.
Okay, does he live close to you?
Yeah. He lives right in the corner, actually, by the library.
By the library? How old is he?
Sherrod, probably like 17.
Okay. So he watches your kids while you go to Riva?
I told him I'll be right back.
And when you said you had your girl there, that's your children you're talking about. It wasn't your girlfriend or one of your wife.
She was at work. That's why I was babysitting.
Okay. So Sherrod, all right. So you go over to Riva. Is anybody else in the car other than you, Fat Boy, and the girl?
Yeah, me, Fat Boy, and the girl.
Nobody else?
No.
So you guys going into Riva. You're still driving. Chucky says there's XXX. He sees him walking. What happens from there?
I mean, we was already going there anyway, so we still go on about our business. And then Chuck said, I think that had to be him, because I think that's the same car that he has. And I was like, yeah. And then they tell me to go in. They said, go in and see if that's him.
Okay, who's saying that?
I think Trey said that.
Okay, you go with the I think. You're not sure? I mean, if it is, it is. If you think it is, it is. But you keep, every time you say I think.
Trey talk.
Okay, all right, so Trey said you go in, then who goes in?
Me and Chucky go in.
Okay, and as soon as you go in, obviously we've seen on the video what happens. What do you do once you go in?
I call Boatwright.
Okay, and do you have Boatwright saved in your phone, or do you just know his number off the hat?
I know his number off the I had his number saved.
Yeah, because we never got your phone, if you remember. We'll talk about that in a little bit. All right, so you go in, and what do you tell Boatwright on the phone?
I see. Yeah, that is him.
Okay.
That is him.
Okay. And what do you guys do when you're in the store? You make the phone call to Boatwright. You say it's definitely XXX. You guys go make the purchase.
Yeah, that's it. We don't say nothing else.
And then what do you do?
Go back to the car.
Okay.
We sit in the car for a second. You know, they're talking about it.
What are they saying?
Chuck is telling them to get him, basically.
When you say to get him to rob him?
Yeah, get him to rob him. And I'm like, man, I don't know about y'all, but I just came. I'm on video, and they're like, that's not a good idea. I'm gonna get in trouble for that, because I know I'm on video.
All right. What are they gonna rob him for?
I guess it's jury.
I guess, or you know?
Well, it's jury.
Every time you say I think or I guess, man, you know, again, I kind of can tell you, you know exactly what they were going to rob him for. You just don't want to say it, so you got to stop guessing and stop thinking. Okay, you go over, and what happens? You go in, you go out. Who else goes in with you?
Fat Boy.
All right, what did you end up buying?
I was looking for grips, but they didn't have the size that I needed for my 150.
Okay. So what did you buy?
I bought gloves, and I bought a skeleton. I bought a white and black skeleton face cover. It was half.
Okay, half.
That comes right here.
All right, what color are the gloves?
The gloves were red.
Red. And other than that, this week, is that the only time you were up there?
Yeah, because my bike was broke down, actually.
How long about? I mean, how long do you think you're there?
Probably about 10 minutes.
10 minutes? And where do you go from there?
Probably less than that.
Where do you go from there?
I went back home because I had to get my kids.
Okay, and did...
I really didn't, sometimes I leave him with my boys, but, leaving him with girls, even though he's a cool little dude, you'll never know.
Okay.
So I had to get back.
And did Fat Boy and his girlfriend stay, or did they leave?
No, they left.
All right, so you guys sitting in that car for about 10 minutes in the parking lot.
I don't know if it's 10
Who
minutes.
else? Well, I'm telling you. Who else was saying anything about getting them other than Chucky?
Trey.
Okay, did they start to do anything to get ready to get him?
Yeah. Boatwright pulled out a gun.
Okay, and that's which gun is that? The rifle?
Yeah.
Okay. Something I've been investigating, people brought your name up into it. Okay, that's why I'm explaining it to you. So, you pulled that out of their spot, what happens from there?
They wait on him.
Okay, what happens is when they see him?
Chucky cuts him off, and they both get out and run.
Okay, can you see, actually, because the door's open, who fires the shot?
Yeah, matter of fact, yeah. Boatwright fired the shot.
Okay, how many shots do you think you fired?
Can't tell that.
More than one?
Yeah, it was definitely more than one.
Okay, and could you see what Trey was doing while that was all going on?
I think Trey tried to grab his necklace.
Okay.
And he ended up running around the car, going inside the car and grabbing the bag.
Okay, what kind of bag was it?
Louis Vuitton.
Louis Vuitton, a big one? Small one?
Kind of small.
How much? Okay. All right, and what happens after they get the bag and they shoot him? What do?
They run back into the car, they drive off. He drives straight to my house, and Chucky catches an Uber.
Okay. So Chucky catches an Uber from your house. Did you see the Uber pick him up?
No.
Okay. Did he use his phone to do the Uber, or
I'm not sure.
Okay.
But that's what he told me, he said I'm catching an Uber.
Okay, but he went to your house originally.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did you guys look in the bag on the way down from Pompano?
No.
Okay, so who had the bag in their possession when you got to your house? Trey. All right, so Chucky left before anybody went in the bag?
No. He left after everything got dispersed.
Okay, so what was in the bag?
Money.
How much?
$50,000.
As Robert begins to delve further into the distribution of the money, Dedrick is still apprehensive about coming forward, supposedly unaware that video surveillance captured the group parking across the street from the property. The detective uses a hypothetical scenario to better have Dedrick understand that police knows his exact involvement.
What I'm trying to get is there's a lot of shit there that's worth a lot of money, right?
Right. Yeah.
So when you got a lot of money, like you're going to open a business, What's the first thing you do when you own a business to protect your business and all that expensive property you have?
Your security.
Yeah, what kind of security would you get?
Armed.
Okay, above armed security, what else would you get?
Alarm system.
Cameras all over the place.
Cameras, yeah.
40 of them. 40 of them. So as me and you sit here and talk, I kind of know everything that happened because I've seen it.
Right.
So when I say to you, I don't mean you any harm, I don't really mean you any harm, and I don't want to sit here and say you're a liar because you're scared. And I understand that.
Right.
But I can see everything that happened. They got cameras everywhere. You can't move on that property inside or outside without being without a camera. You can't come up Dixie Highway without one of those cameras picking you up. You can't go on that back road without those cameras picking you up. You can't sit in the parking lots on the other side of the street from the parking lot without those cameras picking you up. They got cameras everywhere because they got millions of fucking motorcycles up there. So they're going to protect their shit.
After 10 minutes of persuading the suspect that he was caught on camera, Dedrick would finally show his first sign of admission, claiming that he felt bad about what happened. Dedrick would then make an interesting statement as he essentially says that he's willing to cooperate, but expects leniency in return.
But I got a question.
Go ahead.
Because, I mean, obviously the whole time I've been thinking about it.
I know you haven't. I mean, it would bother you.
I knew. You said it didn't?
I said, I know it would bother you.
Oh, yeah, it did.
I can tell right off the bat it would bother you. Because I look up a man's past a little bit before I come find him.
Like that.
I know. So I know it would bother you.
I knew that y'all was going
to come to you.
Come to me. Because when I thought about it, like, I'm in some shit that I went to go get some shit for me.
Okay, well, let's start off by 100% the truth and deal with it.
Okay, so now I got a question before we start this.
Go ahead.
I watch this on TV all the time.
I understand. I was on the 48.
And
I was on the 48.
People tell y'all and they still get it.
Well, here's the situation. You got a warrant, so I can't deal with anything like lying to you, and I'm not gonna. I've been doing this too long. I got the credibility. You're too young to know me, but I got the best credibility. All I can tell you is this. Later on, I'm going to go in front of the state attorney. I'm going to go in front of a judge. I'm going to either say, he told me a story that is believable, or he told me a story that's not believable.
After attempting to bargain a deal for a confession, Dedrick decides to invoke his constitutional right and requests an attorney. Understanding this right, the detective obliges and allows Dedrick to use his cell phone to call his uncle.
Let's start off real slow. Let's go back to, were you at your house? Okay, so now who comes and picks you up?
What can pick me up?
Okay, so
to be honest with you,
yeah.
I mean,
all right. Well, look.
I'm sorry for what I'm sorry. Well, not for what I did, but I'm sorry for what I got myself into. I'm sorry that happened to that person, being that who he was or whatever.
Okay, but.
And I mean, I'm already on probation. I'm gonna get time for it, but I can't die in jail. I can't.
Oh, you're saying you're going to die in jail. Is that what you just said?
Yeah, I can't die for telling. I can't.
Hey, say it again. Are you saying dying or what are you saying?
I can't die in jail for...
Well, no one's saying you can die in jail. What you're charged with is you're involved in an incident. There's all kinds of people involved in incidents. And sometimes...
But even if, when I tell you the story, it's like that paperwork, it follows you when you're in prison. Like, people know that. And
okay. All right. I mean, like I said...
Can I at least, have someone here with me, while I'm telling you the story?
Who?
Like a lawyer or something?
You can have anything you want. That's one of your rights. But
I want to have a lawyer while I'm telling the truth. I mean, I'm going to tell the truth.
Okay, but do you have a lawyer right now?
No.
Okay, well, then you're going to end up having to go to court and wait and everything else. But
as soon as I get on the phone, I can get a lawyer here.
Well, no, they have to appoint you one and everything else.
And I'm talking about a paid lawyer.
You have a paid lawyer?
I just want...
Well, do you have a paid lawyer?
Yes.
Okay, what's his name?
I don't know his name. My uncle. It's my uncle lawyer.
Okay. Does your uncle
have his number and information?
Do you have it in your phone?
No. I got my uncle number in my head by heart.
Okay, do you want to call him?
Yeah.
Who's your uncle?
His name is Vincent Campbell.
Vincent Campbell, where did that? All right, you know how to work a phone, so all right, give me a second. That's my shit falling out. All right, let me How long do you think you're gonna need to talk to him?
Probably about 10 minutes.
All right, do me a favor. Don't be burning up my phone. Don't be texting people crazy on my phone. I don't want to have to get my own phone records on my own phone.
No problem.
All right, you get the lawyer? God dang it, man. I can never figure out which key to open these doors. I've been doing this so long. All right, then get the lawyer's number, and then we'll call him and see if he wants to come down. All right, I'll be back in about 10 minutes.
Dedrick briefly calls his uncle, informing him that he is currently being questioned by police. After a short conversation, the detective re-enters the room where he himself has a brief conversation with Dedrick's uncle in order to confirm whether or not an attorney will arrive on sudden notice.
Hey Vincent, this is the police detective who I just lent your nephew my phone. I don't know, can you hear me? There's a bit of background in the back. All right, the lawyer that he's asking you for, I just need to know if he's actually coming down here or not. You know, or what's your lawyer's name so that you can have him call me so I know if he's coming down here or not, because I don't want to sit around and wait for him if he's not going to actually come down here. Your nephew's charged with first-degree murder. So, hey, your phone's breaking up terrible. He's got a warrant for first-degree murder. No, not attempted murder. Unfortunately, he got caught up in with some of his buddies in the thing that happened on Monday with the rapper getting killed. So, all right, like I said, I'm gonna text you my name and number in case the attorney knows me so he can call me directly. All right, thanks a lot.
Since Dedrick requested the presence of his attorney and refuses to talk any further, the detective begins to conclude the interrogation by acknowledging this request.
All right, how this works now, because of what you said about the lawyer, the only way I can talk to you again is it's called you re-engaging me. In other words, you got to want to talk to me, because I can't talk to you anymore about the case until this attorney decides whether he's going to come down here or not. I don't think any attorney is going to come down here tonight and sit in that chair, but we'll see if your uncle finds one to want to do that. I'm gonna give you my business card on the box. It's my cell phone.
Your name.
Yeah, that's my name on front of it. So I'm gonna have you hold on to that. If he doesn't call me back, right now it's 8:48. I'm gonna give him about a half an hour to see if he can get somebody to call me back. If not, we're just gonna have to take you down and book you in. All right?
Meanwhile, Robert is now being confronted by the state investigator on the case. However, the investigator is wary about Robert's truthfulness and believes that he's withholding information as he inquires into any conversation being had during or after the homicide.
All right, as a reference to this, I can't think of... Yeah, well, you can ask him. I'm gonna let him ask you. Is that all right?
When you said it was definitely XXX in the car, did you know they were going to rob him? Is that the reason they asked?
When they asked me...
When you went into the store and you came back out and said, that's definitely XXX, do you know what was the reason they wanted to know? Did you know they were going to rob him?
Not at the moment, but once I told them and I seen them like getting ready basically, then yeah. But it wasn't no plan that wasn't planned or nothing.
Okay, so after they shoot him and they get back in the car and you guys are driving to Chucky's, tell me the discussion. What's said? I mean, you guys just, not you, but they just shot someone.
It's basically me that's talking.
Okay, what were you saying?
We fucked up. Y'all just got me like a life sentence probably.
Okay, did Boatwright say anything?
Nah, yeah, I guess he was in shock, I guess. I don't know.
How about the others? Did they say anything? Anything at all? Tell me any discussion between Reva and Chucky's.
Wait, I'm leaving there?
No, they don't go to Chucky's, they go to his house.
Okay, from Reva to your house. Tell me how far a ride is that?
What is that about?
Reva's like way up Sample almost, and he's down at FP&L down there at the Driftwood.
Okay, so you guys had to talk about something.
It was basically me talking, telling them how we just fucked up. Like, I'm finna go to jail for the rest of my life. And they're like, you'll be alright. It's not gonna happen to you. You're alright. Just shut up.
Did they know they had shot him?
I don't know.
I mean,
I'm not really sure. I don't know if they knew, but I heard shots. I
know you heard the shots, but did anybody say, yeah, I shot him? Did they know that they actually hit him?
No.
Okay.
Well, I mean, later on they knew because everybody was going on their phones to check the news, like, to see what happened.
He's talking about.
No, I know.
In the car, so let me just.
No problem.
The investigator steps out momentarily, and the detective spontaneously inquires about his portion of the money.
What'd you do with your money?
I tried to buy a car, but it didn't work out.
I know, I saw you trying to buy a used car, but what'd you do with it then? If you couldn't buy a car, what'd you do with it?
They actually took the money from me.
Who did?
The person who offered to buy a car from me.
They stole it from you?
Basically.
Okay, what kind of car were you trying to buy?
Mustang.
What year?
2017.
Was it a dealership or a person who ripped you off?
Person. It wasn't a dealership. Person.
Wow. So you gave him the money as like a down payment and he never gave you the car?
I ain't never getting the rest of the money.
What about the other guys? You know what they spent their money on?
The investigator returns, but still feels the suspect is withholding information. So, he continues to press Robert into divulging further into any conversation being had. Not only that, but also inquires whether or not he confided in someone.
So I'll go with him.
Now here's the problem. You're saying that you're sitting in the car, and then all of a sudden these guys are going to go out and do this. They had masks, they had gloves. Okay, so prior to going and doing this,
I don't think they had no gloves.
Okay, they had masks. You know, they got to be putting them on. They got to be saying something.
I told you they put them on.
Okay, but what are they saying?
We finna get them.
Tell me what they said.
We're gonna get them. That's it.
Who?
XXX.
But who's saying it?
Who's saying it?
Trey and Boatwright.
Okay, now Trey, in the video, he's like backing up because he almost got shot by Boatwright. So doesn't Trey get in the car? Does he say anything when he gets back in the car, like you almost shot me, anything like that?
Yeah, he said that.
Okay, that's what I'm asking you. What was said in the car?
It was like as soon as he got in the car, he said that.
What did he say?
I thought you almost shot me, something like that.
And who did he say that to?
Boatwright.
And what did Boatwright say to him after that?
No, I ain't shoot you. Something like that. No, I ain't shoot you. Something.
Did you see Trey kind of falling back in the car?
He was just grabbing the bag and going. I ain't seen him falling.
Okay. Tell me what happened with everything that was in the bag. You got the money.
I just kind of asked him that. He said they took the Louis Vuitton bag with them and all the money wrappers with them and everything that was in the bag. He says he doesn't know what happened.
Yeah, the fob, the ID.
The fob was.
That's the thing that starts the car nowadays. This thing. It's not like that, but it's like, you don't have to put the key in the ignition.
Yeah, they took that.
They took everything that was in the bag and you have no idea where they went with it.
Okay, you just been involved in a homicide with 3 other guys. Okay, this is going to be a big event in your life, right? Who'd you tell? You had to have said something to someone.
My dad.
About this. And who else? I mean, you're not going to believe what happened. Who'd you tell?
For my dad.
Girlfriend? Anybody else?
Yeah, but I told my dad everything that happened. My girl, I told her a little bit, nothing too. That's why I ain't telling her.
The investigator is still persistent about any conversation that occurred before or after the homicide. This, along with any firearms used during the robbery, before stepping out of the room once again.
After you find out XXX is dead, tell me discussions you had with these guys. Anything at all?
We finna go down for murder.
Look, tell me what was said.
Not too much of nothing, really. Everybody was like in shock. Besides Chucky, he was not really shocked. He didn't really care.
And you don't know what happened to the guns, the bag? Who took them?
Trayvon and Boat. I told him.
Yeah, no, when you walked out, I asked him.
He was here when you told me.
No, he walked out. I walked out, trust me. So. All right, what we're going to do is I'm going to go back and talk to Mr. Lowe real quick, and then we'll back in and we'll talk to you a little bit more, all right? You can sit here with Mr. Lewis. We'll leave the door open.
Yes, please.
Can't get out though. All the doors are locked, Mr. Lewis.
That's fine as long as that one stays open. I'll be good.
Never let know your weaknesses, Mike.
Yeah,
You're
I know.
claustrophobic.
You just need to be cognizant of your conversation.
Yeah, we understand. Everything's recorded. Yeah, everything's recorded.
It's like the more I tell you, just think I'm wrong. The more I tell you, you still think I'm wrong.
No, this is what they do. They're cops and they're going to press you to get as much detail as they can. It's just part of it.
I can't give them stuff I don't know.
That's right, and you can't make stuff up. You tell them what you know.
Right.
Tell them what you know. You don't know, you don't know. But they're going to test you. They have information. They're going to test you to see that you're telling the truth. So that's why it's important you tell the truth. On even little stuff.
Oh, the lawyer wanted me to come. The lawyer came so I can talk to him about the case. And then he can tell his father what's going on, basically.
Man, that's not right. He shouldn't be doing that, to be honest with you. I wouldn't go and try to talk to his client in the jail. That's not good. So. But, you don't want to talk to anybody about this unless I'm sitting there. Okay? If you want to go hire your own lawyer other than me, that's fine too. But don't be talking to anybody, certainly somebody that's representing a co-defendant or knows somebody representing a co-defendant, because I don't think they're looking out for your interest.
Well, that's all I think. Alrighty. Where you going?
I'm not going to sit breathing, walking around.
Calm down. All right, we got to go over some more things because here's the issues that, obviously, again, if you work this out, you're going to have to sit up there and convince a jury that everything you're saying is 100%. And even little details like when he was asking what was being said between you, you gotta kind of remember everything they were saying. And, well, hold on, let me finish. Because one thing we know, I hate being interrupted. Anyways, first off, let's go back to the guns and the hoodies, and forget about Chucky's mask because you already told me why Chucky bought his mask. Why are these guys carrying around those guns when y'all are just driving over to Reva Motors?
I'm not going to specifically say it was just for, it could have been for something else.
Okay, but what could it have been for? They're going to go to the gun range, they're looking for somebody to rob.
They ain't going to the gun range.
Don't tell me, come on, this is you can't, don't make me guess.
It was somebody else that they were going to rob.
Who was that? Just anybody?
I don't know.
What kind of guys are they? Just waiting, just carrying their guns with them in case they see somebody good?
I don't know.
Well, they're your friends, not mine.
I know that, but I don't really know. I don't know what kind of guys they look for.
Were they all wearing the hoodies?
No, they didn't have no hoodies.
Okay, but they were wearing hoodies when XXX got robbed.
I'm saying they didn't. You saying the mask?
No, but I'm talking about the hoodies.
Oh, no.
Were they wearing the hoodies when they left your house?
No.
So the hoodies were where?
I guess at Chuck's house.
Okay, so again, when being a 60-year-old white guy, you're loading up with guns and you're loading up with hoodies.
They didn't load. They didn't load up with no guns. I didn't see them put in no guns.
Okay, but they're taking hoodies from Chucky's house.
Only gun I could see was Trayvon.
Okay, but they're getting hoodies, right? It's how many degrees out? 90 degrees plus?
Well, I was supposed to question it. I don't know that.
Well, what do you think they were getting ready to do?
How am I supposed to know? I don't know.
I don't know. You've been living in the streets your whole life, and just like I have. If guys get in the car and got a bunch of hoodies,
it's like you trying to push me to say something that I don't.
I don't want you to push nothing. I want you to explain to the little old lady in the jury who's listening to you, who's going to say, "Hold on." They go over to Chucky's house, and all of a sudden now they're taking hoodies with them. Why are they taking hoodies with them? Were they going to rob somebody?
Okay. I mean, they could. I didn't pay attention to that. I know I ain't pay attention.
Are they robbing kind of guys?
I wouldn't say that.
Let me ask you this: when you left Chucky's house, were you specifically headed for Reva?
Yes.
You didn't do any
No.
Surveillance of anybody, all that?
No.
Nothing at all? No discussion whatsoever of any other victims that they may have tried to rob between Chucky's house and Reva?
Or that they were planning on doing and got sidetracked because they saw XXX?
No, I was supposed to go to my girl's house, but I didn't make it to that.
Robert claims that he does not describe the group as the robbing type, but goes on to say that someone in the group stated that they were going to rob someone. Not only did each defendant have their own firearm for this excursion, but after further questioning, Robert states that the group headed straight to Reva Motorsports without looking for any other victim in the process. This, along with the phone call to Jaseh, plausibly insinuates a strong correlation. Confessions made during an earlier period of the investigation are often much more revealing than the next, as this exact statement would directly contradict Robert's testimony during trial.
Okay, so is Dedrick side get to rent the vehicle? Why? Rob who?
Anyone.
Okay. When they see XXX and you get inside with Chucky and you get on the phone, are they already talking about robbing them then? What are they? What's the purpose
He just said, all right.
He just said what?
All right.
Okay, but why did they want you to confirm it was XXX?
Because they thought Chucky was lying.
Oh, okay. Who else did you call when you were in Reva? Did you call anybody else?
I think my girl, that's it.
Okay, and did Boatwright call you back as well as you called him?
I don't think he answered the first time.
Okay.
And then I think that's when he called back.
All right, is the first time when they start talking about robbing XXX when you get back to the car and sit, or is you and Chucky talking about it while you're inside Reva?
We're not talking about it when we're in Reva.
Okay, is anybody
when we get in the car?
Okay, is anybody talking about it on the phone with you like Boatwright?
No.
Okay. All right, so you get back into the car in the first time, while you're still in the parking lot.
All right.
Where are the hoodies at? Do you remember? Were they just?
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Boatwright had his on already.
Yeah.
And Trey was putting on his.
Okay. And
I don't even think Trey had a hoodie.
Okay. As far as the mask, did they use the mask that Chucky bought, or did they have other masks?
They had other masks.
All right, did they use the mask that Chucky bought too, or?
I don't think so.
Okay, so they had their own mask?
They had their own. I'm not sure.
This segment would highlight the relevance of purchasing the mask. This could be used as a reason or excuse to place the suspects in the area of the crime, as Robert states that they already had masks and did not use the one Dedrick bought. The investigator continues with the confrontational approach, hoping to acquire more information about the conversation being had.
Here's the problem that I have. Chucky says he's got jewelry and he says we're going to take it. Whatever words he says. You come back in the car, one of them's putting a mask on, one of them's
they don't put the mask on until they move the car.
All right, they're getting hoodies. So the only person in that, well, out of 4 people in that car that doesn't know that they're going to rob XXX is you.
I didn't say that.
You didn't?
Then I say when we got back in the car, that's when I realized they were going to rob him. Didn't I say that?
That's when they started planning it.
Okay, prior to that, they didn't say anything about robbing XXX.
No, they didn't know.
As you're walking, who's in the, Chucky's in the store with you?
Yeah.
When as you guys are walking out, you and Chucky, what's he saying to you?
He didn't say nothing.
Nothing. So
I think he was talking about a bike.
Okay, so tell me the first time you realize they're going to rob XXX. What's that?
When we get back in the car.
And how do you realize they're going to rob them?
They say it. They said it. Trey and Boatwright said it.
What do they say?
We're going to get him.
And what does Chucky say?
Chucky's pushing them to get him.
Okay, so Trey and Boatwright, we're going to get him. As they're saying we're going to get him.
Okay, Chuck come in, he was like, I told you that was him. He was like, what y'all going to do? They said, we're going to get him.
Okay, we're going to get him, and what are they doing as they're saying we're going to get him?
Nothing.
They put mask on? Do you see the guns?
Okay, but this isn't, what he's saying is this, they moved twice.
I understand that.
In the first parking lot, they don't put the mask on until the second spot is when they start putting the stuff on. So in the first spot, they're talking about it, but they haven't started gearing up.
Right.
Okay, then you tell them, man, I'm on video in there.
Right.
I mean, what else do you say to them? Anything else?
What else am I supposed to say? There's nothing else to say. They already commit. That's what they finna do.
And what do they say to you when you say, man, well, how about Chucky? Chucky's on video.
Chucky said we moved. They're not gonna. He thinking y'all are not gonna. I'm like, all right, whatever.
No, I'm asking you, what was said?
No, Chucky.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Did he think the video camera went that far out?
Right.
He thought.
I saw the video, so yeah.
Okay, but when he moved to the second spot, he didn't think he was still on video.
Right.
So Chucky was like.
Dedrick was the first to be arrested and was eventually seen by the other three on the news. This resulted in Robert leaving the state in an attempt to elude authorities, but was eventually extradited from his sister house in Georgia. The detective will now begin to summarize his alibi in order to better ascertain the timeline.
Just one last time. You go in, they just ask you to confirm it's XXX, you don't know why. You get back to the first spot, that's when the plan starts to develop that they're going to do the robbery.
Right.
They don't start gearing up till you move from the parking lot to across the street, and that's when they start gearing up to do it.
Right.
And, you know, as far as where everything went afterwards, you don't know where it went.
No.
How about the stuff that they changed into at your house? The clothing that they took off and they put on your brother's clothes. You know where that clothing went?
Wherever they went.
So they took their clothing with them when they left, wearing your brother's clothes?
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I'd like to do.
See, cause the car moved a couple times while I was home.
Right.
As you can see, it went in driftwood and all that, but it was waiting until it was time to turn the car back in. But I told them I wasn't driving the car anymore. They would have to drive it.
Okay.
But I will get in the car because I have license and she's gonna bug out if she don't see me.
Okay.
The reason I keep asking you of discussions prior, afterwards, in the car, after you get home, is because, like Detective Curcio said, the little old lady that's sitting on the jury, if this comes to fruition, you get a deal. If you blurt out something that was said by one of them and you haven't told us, well, wait a minute, you didn't tell them that.
Right.
Okay, that's why it's so important to remember what was said.
Right.
Okay, so what I'd like to do is have the two of us step out and think about that. The exact wording that was said. What was said prior to going in there? What was said in the drive? You need to think about this stuff, because if all of a sudden you remember something during the trial, they're going to shove it up ours and your rear end. Well, wait a minute, you didn't tell Detective Curcio that. That's why you need to try to remember what was said. Who said what? Like all of a sudden when I came back in here just now, you remembered that Boatwright and Trey said we're going to get him.
I said that from the get-go. Didn't I say that from the get-go?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, you're not using the exact words. You remember any of the exact words they were using? I mean, because, let's be honest, you guys talk street a little bit. Do you remember exactly what they said?
No, I mean, all I know is like a bit, so like, not really like, it wasn't no full-fledged conversation. It wasn't one of those. It was just like, I do remember Trey getting back in the car. He said, you almost shot me. He was like, nah, I ain't almost shoot you or something. I can't remember exactly what he said, but it was like, no, I had this or something like that.
After they found out in the news that they shot him and killed him, was anybody showing any remorse out of it?
Yeah, Boatwright.
Boatwright was upset?
Not really. He just was like, he couldn't believe it.
What about Trey?
Trey just acting, I guess. I don't know.
And you said Chucky didn't care because...
He was just, as you can see, he was just acting like it was just another day.
Once again, the investigator continues to inquire about any specific conversation being had during the homicide. This is when Robert would recall more specifics about what made Micheal Boatwright fire his weapon.
Boatwright never bragged about shooting him afterwards? Nothing?
No, I don't remember bragging.
Did he say why he shot him?
I think he was fighting back, or something like that. They were tussling or something like that.
What do you remember what he said? Well, I mean, why he shot him?
I don't know the exact words he said, but I know he said it was tussling.
Who?
But he didn't know if he shot him. He didn't know until he shot him until it hit the news or whatever.
Okay.
Cause you know what, you're right. Chucky asked him why did he shoot.
Okay.
Chucky asked why did you shoot, and he said he was tussling. He was I guess
tussling? Is that the word?
Yeah,
tussling.
it's
Like,
yeah.
Not touching, tussling.
Yeah, it's like a half wrestling.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so that was the conversation with Boatwright?
Boatwright.
Chucky and Boatwright. Yeah. Chucky asked him, why did you shoot? And he says he was tussling with me?
Right.
Okay. Yeah, things like that is very important that you remember. Conversations like that.
All right, well, let's go back, take a 5-second break. Okay. You want us to tell you what jug means? You know what jug means?
No, what?
That's to stab somebody. Ask your dad. What do you know? You're millennial.
They're a different generation.
This way, Tim.
I don't understand why we have to do this today. This second, I don't.
Why have to do what? That's what they're supposed to what day?
No, I'm talking about this whole other thing. I don't.
Because it's important. Sometimes I think you may have involvement or knowledge, so.
But you already
you
told
better
me.
be telling the truth, huh? They want to hear it from you. They're going to give you the specifics, and then you either know about it or you don't know about it. And if you know about it, you better tell.
Probably gonna miss my visitation.
Probably
gonna miss my visitation.
Buddy, this is a little bit more important
I know that.
than the visitation. Okay?
The detective and the investigator re-enters the room with yet another line of questions. They begin by specifically inquiring about how the group happened to see Jaseh and the Louis Vuitton bag containing the money.
Alright, last little things here. Relax.
Yes.
Alright. You're in the first parking spot. You guys have parked in Riva. And you said something about Chucky saw his car, XXX's car. How far away did you guys park from his car? XXX's car.
I want to say maybe right next to it, I think.
Alright, and was there anything said about that, or just Chucky did that on his own?
Chucky did that on his own.
So Chucky actually, when you first saw him walking in, then he saw the car, you said Chucky had seen him in the car before.
No, he didn't see him in the car.
But he's seen him driving that car before, or
right.
You recognized
right,
him?
Right.
Okay. When you're in the first parking lot, when they're talking about it, and they haven't started gearing up yet, are they talking about how they're going to do it? In other words, are they going to block the car in?
Yeah, like that.
Well, what are they saying?
Chucky said, I'm going to block the car for y'all, just get out. They was like, all right.
Okay. All right, so did Chucky ask you to do anything?
No.
Like, look out for us, man? See the police or anything like that? Okay. So the whole time that was going on, you were just sitting there? Yes? Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Well, let me ask you this. When they get back in the car with the Louis Vuitton bag, who's got the bag? Who's carrying it?
Trey.
So it's in the back seat between you and Trey?
Yeah.
Who opens the bag?
No one opened it at the time.
Okay.
He hands it to Boatwright.
Okay. Does Boatwright open it then?
No, because Trey tell him don't open it.
Why is that?
I don't know. He tell him don't open it.
And Trey, you didn't see Trey open it or anything? Why? I mean, I don't understand why Trey would say don't open it.
I don't know. I mean, I guess because it was just a shooting. I guess he was just worried about getting away. But he's like, don't open it, bro. Don't open it. Don't open it. I don't know.
When was the first time it got opened? At your house?
I would say my house.
All right, who opened it at your house?
Boatwright.
And tell me what Boatwright said when he opens the bag. There's $50,000 in there. What's he say?
He's like, oh shit, like, oh shit. And then he started dispersing it. And then Chucky like, hold on, he ain't do nothing. Then he was like, man, that man was there.
What after you leave the motorcycle place, the Riva, are you looking to see if there's any cops coming or any discussion about, there's a cop car? Tell me what.
He was like, y'all don't see the Chucky was like, y'all see the police? And everybody was like, no, it's good.
All right. Any help you can give on finding any of this shit? The credit cards, the bag. You didn't give the bag to no girl to get some moo-moo.
Nah. What's moo-moo?
Nookie. Loving. No?
Nah, he didn't do that.
We have no idea how to get any of this stuff back. And you don't know what they did with the guns. They didn't bring them up to Georgia, did they? So when Boatwright went up to Georgia with y'all, he went up there with money from the proceeds?
Yeah, a little bit of clothes, not much.
Okay. All right. I'm good. Let me, one last time.
Why do you ask the same questions?
Because they want specific answers, okay? And they're just, they're testing you against what they know, against what you know, to see how truthful you're being. They just want to make sure you're 100% truthful. It's the way they do things. Don't take offense to it, okay? Also, if they ask you the same question 10 times, if you answer it differently, then that is an indication that you're not telling the truth. If you tell the same story every time, it's more likely that they believe that you are telling the truth. So they'll ask you the same question 10 different ways to see if you answer it differently, if you're trying to make anything up. So it's just the way cops do it.
The detective leaves the room one last time and returns with a few final questions. This includes any admission for attempting to flee or elude authorities, and the effort of driving across country to escape imprisonment.
Alright, a couple more questions. When you guys decided, you and Boatwright and Trey, to go wherever you were going, what city did Trey get out in again?
Fort Pierce.
Fort Pierce? Trey, I'm talking about.
Right.
Okay, and you stayed at the La Quinta.
Right.
You and Boatwright.
Right.
Why were you guys leaving?
Why were we leaving from Fort Pierce?
Yeah. No, why were you leaving from Broward County? Why were you heading north?
Because I knew I was in trouble.
Okay.
He just
did they know they were in trouble?
No.
So you were leaving town because you knew you were in trouble?
Yeah.
Do you know if they had any of their guns with them? That was no.
No.
Okay. And you got up to Jasmine's house. How long do you think Boatwright stayed at Jasmine's house before you came back?
I want to say 3 to 4 days, probably.
Okay, and where's the bus? You said you took a bus back?
Yeah.
Where's the bus station? Is that up in Eastman?
I don't know.
Who took him to the bus station?
My sister.
Okay, so Jasmine took him? So if I asked Jasmine's cooperative about it. So if I asked Jasmine, you don't know, does she have to take him a long ways, like to Savannah? Okay.
I ain't even asked her.
All right, while you guys are taking that long ride up to Georgia with the baser, are you guys talking about the case at all? Like where the baser would know about it?
No, we weren't. I mean, I guess they didn't want to talk about it because of him.
All right, so there was no conversation, anything about laying low. Like you said, nobody was spending any money. Did you guys talk about, excuse me, don't put no heat on yourself by spending any money? No. And by that time, you had already tried to buy the car and the Mustang, and you couldn't get it? Why did Trey get out of the car in Fort Pierce? I thought you said Palm Beach originally, but...
No, he was going to. That's where he was leaving from Fort Pierce to go to.
And where was he? Who was he going to see?
Some girl. He said he was staying with the girl, but I don't think he ever made it to the girl. I don't think.
All right, so his whole plan was never to go all the way up to Georgia with you. He was just catching a ride as far as Palm Beach.
He said he wasn't getting caught with me.
Okay, so they were with you, but they weren't going to go all the way to Georgia with you. All right.
All right, hold on a second. He said he wasn't going to get caught with you?
Yeah, basically he didn't want to be around me. If I was to go down, he didn't want to be around me.
Okay.
So they automatically put it as it was him.
Okay, so that's what I'm getting at. You guys did have some discussion about the incident. If he says to you, I don't want to be around you, I mean, why you? Why not Boatwright? I mean...
Because I was on video, I'm assuming.
How about Boatwright? Does he say anything like that?
He's just like, I'm not going to leave.
He said what?
He just said he wasn't going to leave me.
He wasn't going to leave you?
Yeah.
That's why he went to Georgia with you?
Yeah.
But Trey, the reason he gets out in Fort Pierce, because he didn't want to be around you, because you say you're on video. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
They were concerned because you were on video and they were masked up, so they were less concerned for themselves.
Right.
But they knew you were. I think you said it. You said I'm next to go because you were on video.
And Chucky doesn't care.
At that time he did. I don't know about now, but at that time he didn't care.
We're getting our exercise on.
Coming back, right?
Of course we are.
Yeah. Okay.
Tomorrow, okay?
Where we're going.
The interrogation concludes and the investigation for Jahseh's murder would soon commence. On February 7th, 2023, nearly 5 years after the fatal incidents, the trial of Micheal Boatwright, Trayvon Newsome, Dedrick Williams, and Robert Allen would soon begin. Instead of being trialed individually, all three suspects were adjudicated together, and, as promised, Robert Allen would take the stand testifying against his fellow co-defendants, hoping to prove to the jury that he was at the wrong place at the wrong time. Trayvon Newsome and Dedrick Williams received 1 life sentence, while Micheal Boatwright received 2 consecutive life sentences. Robert Allen would point out his fellow co-defendants and receive 7 years in prison. He is to be released in 2025. Though Jaseh would exhibit symptoms of BPD, or what is now referred to as EUPD, his life was abruptly taken before he was able to explore the road of redemption, as he was only 20 years of age when murdered. This would deeply resonate with many people who often struggle with depression, loneliness, and anxiety, as his music often reflects these topics. In conclusion, Jaseh was far from perfect, but was working towards it. Special thanks to 8MC, Real World Police, and Law and Crime Network. If you've enjoyed this presentation, special thanks to you.
Okay, Chucky's got a big fat friend named Fat Rob, or Big Rob, or Chucky calls him Shatta, which is Jamaican for hitman, I guess, which I don't know how he's a hitman, because he looks like he hit the buffet. He don't look like he kind of little round to be a hitman. So I'm asking you, who came and picked you up, and where did they pick you up at? You want to tell me? All right. Want me to go get the picture? Or just tell me to fuck off then, so I know you're done. Does that mean you're done? Then say it.